Machine to start up. There it is. Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Saturday, February 29th, 2020. It's 8:06 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Okay, global uncertainty. Bitcoin's doing pretty strong. Markets in general are shaky at best. Let's take a look at all that really quick here on Saturday, just to start the weekend off right. Okay. How the coronavirus crash compares to historic market falls. This is something I think is important to look at because really, so far, we got the coronavirus effect. Well, not much different than a dot-com bubble. And also, it's not as bad as the financial crisis around 2008. And, well, we're not comparing to when Hitler invaded France yet, and the Great Depression was much worse. Keep things in perspective. We tend to think, oh my God, it's bad right now. A little bit of historical context really does help us understand the moment better. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know what now means and which direction that's trending. So the world ain't over yet, even though the markets are in a difficult place. Of course, this may be prolonged, and then all this these dumps would maybe be nothing compared to what's about to happen. But we don't even know that. Truly, we do not know. So far, anything out of the world yet, there's been worse crashes in history. So let's just remember, our grandparents and great-grandparents would consider today small potatoes. Unless maybe they lived through the Spanish flu, they might be a little freaked out. But anyway, Tether into Bitcoin, 3.97 billion last 24 hours. Pretty massive. Tether into Ethereum, 2.79 billion. Pretty darn good. So for a Saturday amongst global uncertainty, basically 4 billion in a Tether so far last 24 hours on a Saturday, not bad at all. Looking at our volume, well, 784 million, not great volume to be honest with you. I'd like to see at least 1.5 billion or so, but we're just not seeing that. I like to put a billion in front of this and say 1.7 billion, but unfortunately, no, just 784 million. Not bad compared to what it's been in recent history. But still, it's a slowdown for the weekend. So 784 million so far, last 24 hours. Okay, half that, about 452 million, was on Binance, and no other exchanges showed up with over 100 million. So longs versus shorts on Binance, 32% shorts, 67% longs. Sentiment is long on Binance. This is a 4-hour chart. Got my VPVR rolling here and got a fib line that I drew, and I wanted to match the fib line up because the .5 really, the fib line is just rocking perfectly. It matches up perfectly with the highest spot in the VPVR. So that's where you get this little red line that it puts across here. The highest VPVR, the highest buy sell volume, will show that indicator. So BPVR shows visible range, so it's showing all the chart. It's basically computing the chart that you see here on the screen. And yes, this is actually on purpose a little bit off, because if I match it right here, that .5 fib line is really close. If I match it here, that .5 fib line is really close. I am just going to match it up just like that. All right, this fib, it looks like we are sitting on a .5 fib line right now, where we have previous support and resistance, and we definitely have the greatest amount of buy-sell volume in recent chart history on the 4-hour. Okay, directional index is dismal, but still, we have historical support and resistance, and we have the greatest amount of buy-sell volume right where we're hanging out. So, .5 fib line at around 86.60. Well, that .5 fib line here is 86.56, and I think the price action right now is about 86.60. Or I should say it is 85.89. So VPVR by heaviest buy sell volume in this chart is 86.60. The .5 fib line is 86.56, and our price action right now is 85.88. So we are in a strong place in the chart via VPVR and via previous support and resistance. I think worst case is we bounce down here again to the 618 at around 82.19, and then we continue up or go sideways. We shall see. The world's uncertain. I think all I can really do when it comes to Bitcoin right now is say, look at this chart. We're hanging out in a strong place for the moment. We've been sideways for a little while amongst insane market instability. Honestly, I think comparatively speaking, Bitcoin is really pretty stout. It's holding up strong in this insane market, which is going nuts at the moment. Of course, it's weekend, so the American, indexes, the American market is closed. It'd be very telling if it was open today. Monday is going to be very interesting. Let's keep going. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average, of course, it closed on Friday, but it did show a slight rally before it closed. So we shall see what happens on Monday. Monday, I think, is a day that many people are kind of waiting for. We're going to see what's going to affect Monday. I think news is going to affect Monday quite a lot when it comes to the global instability basically created by the coronavirus. Now, this is Lookner on Twitter. As you know, Oregon and Washington State have seen recent coronavirus cases, and this is something that I've been kind of dreading that I knew would probably eventually happen if it continues spreading in this country, and that is you're going to see it, basically show up in a school, and that's just not good. That's going to cause issues. I think that's kind of a like trigger effect I've been hoping I would not see, but we've seen it, and I think, this is going to be an interesting weekend, all right? Not to be a doomsayer or a fearmonger whatsoever, because I'm really not coming from that angle. This is just something that I think this is going to change the public's perception and the optics into this whole situation. I think we're going to come Monday, a lot more people are going to be aware of this in the country, in America, which has been somewhat sheltered until now. I think this is a important event here. And so, like Steve Lookner says, the high school that the presumptive Washington case attends, so basically the high school that the child attends, is in Snohomish County, and the other Washington case is in King County. And so you got to look at, King County, that is insane population density. And of course, the, student at a school, that's Snohomish County, not quite the population density of King. But this is Seattle. I mean, imagine the students and the parents that are freaking out right now. This is a big deal. I got to tell you, I think this is a big deal. And now, a letter from the school in Washington where coronavirus patient is a student. Says the student was briefly on campus this morning. Also says the student has a sibling who attends a different school, a middle school, who's asymptomatic and being tested. Asymptomatic is that doesn't have symptoms. So, Washington State is probably a nervous place right now, especially for students and especially for parents who have children at those schools. And of course, Seattle is a big tech hub, a very big business hub. I mean, that's where Boeing sits. So, I think optics have changed. They're going to change this weekend. I think Monday is going to be a different situation. We'll see how it unfolds. Many people rolling to work on Monday are going to be thinking about this issue. With that said, for sanity, a person I follow, and I link to it in the show notes, is Dr. John Campbell. He is a insanely learned man. He does daily updates on the coronavirus situation. And this is like, honestly, if you watch one source of news, this guy I think is the best. And interestingly enough, this guy here, Paul Cottrell, interviewed Dr. Campbell recently, February 27th. And I would say I've only started watching this, but so far only the first 2 minutes have been very good. Paul Cottrell, I like him. A bit of a sensationalist. Maybe a bit of a clickbait. I cannot say I truly trust him. I've been following some of his videos. Don't know what angle this guy's really on, but he's talking to a very wise sage scholar. I really want to see how this rolls. This is worth watching because you've got sort of like the sky is falling guy on the left who definitely gets into a lot of the more far out aspects of this than that can be gotten into versus sagely wisdom. This is really a must watch. I'll be watching it. So, the China 50. Of course, market closed, but as we can see, unlike the Dow Jones on Friday, which tried to rally right at the end, a little burst of money there, it didn't. So, China 50 down, Dow Jones was down on Friday, of course, We can look at all of it. SPX, the S&P 500, down on Friday with a little push at the end. How about the Russell 2000 at the end? It had the slightest bit of a rally on Friday. So really, it's a cliffhanger. It's suspense. I really think these issues here with in Washington State, there being the possibility of it in a high school, a student testing positive there, which is a big tech hub. I mean, King County, that's talking, well, I mean, Microsoft's across the street. That's where Kirkland, right nearby, that's where Costco is headquartered and such. So I'm just saying, this is a big tech hub. This Seattle, if people are freaking there, I think optics are going to get a lot more intense into the situation. Monday, we're really going to be looking at what is going to happen with these traditional markets, and also up until Monday. And of course, Monday, of course, Bitcoin, I think really, compared to let's just look at the Russell 2000, right? What kind of a dump do we have here? Since about, what is it, last, our recent dump here, it's like, 14% with a bit of a turnaround. You look at Bitcoin, well, what are we looking at here? Let's just go way back here on this 4-hour chart. Okay, 19%. So, and then let's just get really recent. There you go, it's about 15%. So honestly, I think Bitcoin, it's looking like it's in a strong spot. And let's see how it rolls until over the weekend and until next week. Sorry, I'm a little bit wordy. This is just kind of hard to articulate. Sometimes I think this report's the hardest darn thing I do all day. Sometimes trying to just, sometimes get things across. With that said, I'm a member of Blockchain Education. Click on the link in the description. Watch the video about blockchain education. Let's make money together this year. There's opportunities abound in crypto. You want to learn to be a badass trader? Join, watch the videos, hang out with the crew, get in the chat. You will be surprised how far you have gone, how much you will achieve. That first time in a month or two when you look back at that switchback you've been walking up for so many years, hiking up to get better as a trader, you're going to go, man, I've come far. And wow, I mean, joining Blockchain Education, I really, in the last just a couple of weeks, I've gone so far. I look forward to hearing from you when you, at that moment where you go, man, I joined, and I just can't believe how far I came in a month. So, with that said, obstacles cannot stop you. Weather cannot stop you. Heartbreak cannot stop you. Failure cannot stop you. Only you can stop you. Keep hammering. See you again tomorrow.